call them home is Martin Harris.
Thank you, Chris. All in. They're off. They race over 1.25 miles for the Racing UK Profits Return to Racing Maiden Stakes, and in the early stages, Great Return is the first to show, with Montaha and Alfahad immediately in pursuit. They're being tracked by Guns of Leros as they run towards the end of the first quarter of a mile. Placidilla Concord is tracking the leaders, and so too is Poet's Word as they continue to race well down the far side. And it's Montaha who's now come through to head Great Return, with Guns of Leros and Alfahad racing in third and fourth. Poet's Word is next, then Placidilla Concord, followed by Sleepless in Seattle. Maxime on the inside of Shrao are the next two. Indulged is well back in the field at present as they prepare to swing left-handed out of the back. Los Olivos is the overall back marker, and also towards the rear is Rollstone Rendezvous along with Icon's Image. Montaha leads them around the turn out of the back straight, a half length in front of Great Return, Guns of Leros and Alfahad. They're followed by Poet's Word, Sleepless in Seattle, Placidilla Concord. Shrao making progress behind those. Having gone through halfway, they're swinging into the home straight with a shade over half a mile to go. Montaha leads the way to Great Return, then follows Guns of Leros on the inside of Alfahad. Poet's Word is shaken up at the 3-pole, back in fifth. Then follows Sleepless in Seattle, Maxime, Placidilla Concord, Shraro, and they've broken clear of the rest, who are led by Indulged. 2.5 furlongs down, Montaha is still about 3 parts of a length in front of Great Return, Poet's Word and Alfahad. They're being chased by Guns of Leros and Sleepless in Seattle as they approach the final furlong, and Poet's Word is picking up well for Ryan Moore and has now gone to the front from Montaha. They've broken clear from Maxime, who's staying on into third. Shraro's coming home well, but it's Poet's Word from Montaha as they go up towards the line. Poet's Word wins going away from Montaha, Shraro, and an eye-catching run from Indulged, who may well have got up to snatch fourth.
Yeah, interesting contest. Poet's Word comes home in front. Ryan Moore in action at Chester this afternoon, and in the winner's enclosure now at Nottingham as well. Been a good few days.
As the field loaded away, and the starter sends them on their way. Royal Revenge being pushed along, or Royal Reserve I should say, on the inside of Poet's Word early on. They're both keen to capitalise on their inside draws. Zorro and Al Neksha, along with Ishara, also racing handily. 60s Groove pushing forward, as Royal Reserve's just a little bit short of room. A little bit of jostling in midfield. Indulge just drops back. Seemed to be one of the sufferers there, as Golden Field goes round the outside of Combative, early on towards the rear of the field. And hampered again was Sark. It's been quite rough round that bend. A few of them were snatched up. Carry Me Home tracking the midfield division at this stage with Cosmopolitan and also Theo's Lolly. So now they settle down. A bit of a battle going on for the lead now, as Zorro, Ishara and Golden Field all lock horns. Racing in fourth place, we have Al Neksha just ahead of Welford. 60s Groove is on that one's outside, trying to improve. Poet's Word, having got the position tracking the leaders on the rails, appears content with that for the time being. Then Indulge just ahead of Carry Me Home. Towards the inside, Royal Reserve has had pretty rough first part of the race. Then Sark in company with Combative. Still towards the back include Theo's Lolly and Cosmopolitan as they make their way up now hill, and they'll come into the straight via the lower bend. So Zorro out in front with Ishara, and they're being kept honest by Golden Field. These three taking each other on quite a long way from home. Al Neksha's moved through into fourth place as they make the turn downhill. 60s Groove improving on the outside of Poet's Word. Ryan Moore at this stage content just to sit in the same sort of position. Welford comes next, then towards the outside, Indulged on the move. Royal Reserve just ahead of Combative. Then Carry Me Home, who's ahead of Sark, who's trying to move back to the inside. Theo's Lolly and Cosmopolitan still towards the back. Zorro, Golden Field and Ishara. Poet's Word trying to get out from underneath that trio at the moment, as down the centre of the racecourse, 60s Groove and Indulge. It's all change here. Al Neksha can't get out. A bit of bashing going on as they make their way down inside the final 2 furlongs. 60s Groove out in front. Indulge, Combative coming out of the pack. Carry Me Home, and towards the outside, Cosmopolitan, who's come from a long way back. Poet's Word went back towards the inside and is now beginning to close off strongly. 60s Groove out in front. Ryan Moore in full cry on Poet's Word, who's driven alongside of 60s Groove, edges over to the near side. Poet's Word straight and true. 3 for Stout, 3 for Moore. 60s Groove second, tight for third. Carry Me Home combative, Indulged and Cosmopolitan. Then behind these was Royal Reserve.
Well, the short price favourite has won the final race. It was a rough race at that and will take some unpicking, but Ryan Moore has cemented his position as top jockey in the Racing UK scoreboard here this week at the Qatar Goodwood Festival. Sir Michael Stout having an excellent day himself, like his rider here, a treble on the day. And we can have a look at the closing stages. It was pretty rough early.
Good afternoon, Simon.
Afternoon, Nick. Welcome, everybody. They're lined up and they're away, racing for the first on day 4 of the Qatar Goodwood Festival, the Group 3 Betfred Glorious Stakes, and Lord Yates predictably into an early lead. Second Step just needed rousing from the stalls, but is now well on terms on the outside in the orange sleeves. Poet's Word is close up under Ryan Moore in the blue jacket to the outside of Snoano on the fence, and the other two are slightly detached early on, Scarlet Dragon and the white blazed Majid, rounding a right-hander, having raced uphill through the first furlong and a half or so. And it's Lord Yates, this much improved performer, winner of both his starts this season. Lord Yates by a length and a half to Second Step, who he beat narrowly at Newmarket last time. Second Step with a £3 pull at the waist today. Poet's Word is back in third, followed by Snoano, and then 3 or 4 lengths away to Scarlet Dragon, and finally the outside of the field, Majid, in the hands of Asheen Murphy. Lord Yates appears to be setting a fairly honest pace here as they race round the outside of the course and about to run uphill, and it's Lord Yates by a length and a half to Second Steps in second place. In third then is Poet's Word on the far side of Snoano, Scarlet Dragon and Majid. So now they make this incline and on their way towards the 6 furlong marker, and Lord Yates extends to about 2.5 lengths over Second Step in second. Poet's Word on the outside, about another length and a half behind Second Step on the outside of Snoano, and then Scarlet Dragon and finally Majid. Turning right-handed, and PJ McDonald pressing on here on Lord Yates. He's going to try and stretch them, he's going to try and make it hurt as they run down the hill towards the final half mile. Lord Yates by a couple of lengths still to Second Step. Poet's Word on the outside of Snoano, and then in behind them Scarlet Dragon now in touch. Majid not making any impression as they head on towards the 3 furlong marker. Lord Yates the leader, but they're beginning to queue up to mount challenges. Second Step on the outside, Poet's Word coming there threateningly. In behind them is Snoano and then Scarlet Dragon. Lord Yates coming under pressure, so too Second Step. Here's Ryan Moore on Poet's Word, about to unleash the Sir Michael Stout trained 4-year-old. Out wide is Scarlet Dragon. It's Poet's Word that now just strikes the front from Second Step. Out wide, Scarlet Dragon running a big race for Holly Doyle. Poet's Word a little bit workmanlike. Scarlet Dragon tries to run on, then Second Step. Poet's Word is holding on about a length ahead from the other two, and up to the line is Poet's Word who has the final word. In the end, Second Step on the far side, or on the near side, Scarlet Dragon, and then a gap back to Lord Yates, Snoano and Majid.
Well, he's won Poet's Word for Sir Michael Stout and Ryan Moore in the colours of Saeed Sahel, and he takes this pattern race, confirming that he's an improved performer this season, and he's beaten Second Step, who was indeed ridden a little more handily, as Chris suggested. He's run another good race, and Scarlet Dragon has acquitted himself.
Almost ready for the Quipco Irish Champion Stakes, the big race of the day, and they're racing. Eminent breaks well on the inside. Taj Mahal is also up there in the early stages. Success Days towards the outside. Churchill just behind the leaders on the inner, and then comes Moonlight Magic as they race down to complete the first furlong and a half, and it's Eminent and Frankie Dettori in front from Success Days in second. Churchill runs third. Moonlight Magic is next in fourth, followed by Taj Mahal, Zukova, the red and yellow on the inside, Poet's Word, Cliffs of Moher, then Decorated Night, and finally the winner from 2014, the Grey Gatsby, as they race to the 7 furlong marker, and Eminent leads by almost 4 lengths under Frankie Dettori, bidding to win this race for the 7th time. leading from Success Days in second. Churchill is next with Cliffs of Moher on the right. Then comes Moonlight Magic, and behind these Taj Mahal with Zukova as they head towards the 5 furlong point, which will be the halfway stage. And Eminent leads them, followed by Success Days. Churchill and Moonlight Magic next, ahead of Cliffs of Moher and Zukova and Taj Mahal. Poet's Word, the Grey Gatsby, as they swing out of the back straight and approach the half-mile pole. Eminent in the lead by 2.5 lengths to Success Days in second. Churchill is on the inside in third, then Moonlight Magic, then Cliffs of Moher, then Zukova, then Taj Mahal. The Grey Gatsby towards the back with Poet's Word, and Decorated Night brings up the rear. Racing towards the home turn now, they're about to pass the 3 furlong pole. Eminent, Success Days, the first of the Greys in second, then Moonlight Magic, Churchill towards the inside, then Cliffs of Moher, Zukova, Taj Mahal, and then Poet's Word, the Grey Gatsby, and Decorated Night, the back marker. In the straight, just 2 furlongs to race. Eminent the leader, chased by Churchill. Cliffs of Moher encountering traffic problems on the inside. Success Days still banged there. Moonlight Magic, Zukova as they race towards the final furlong. Eminent is the leader from Moonlight Magic. Churchill is struggling. Decorated Night from the back of the field down the outside with Poet's Word, and it's Decorated Night who swept through on the near side as they go to the line. Decorated Night wins the Irish champion under Andrea Azzani. Poet's Word is second, and they're followed in by Eminent, and then Moonlight Magic and Churchill and Cliffs of Moher and Taj Mahal, Zukova, the Grey Gatsby, and finally Success Days. So the big race of the day has gone to number 1, Decorated Night, trained by Roger Charlton and ridden by Andrea Azzani.
KJⅥ Champion Stakes, they break away, and from the gates, Bramito can be a little bit slow away, was so again, and Desert Encounter slots in behind the field, who are led by Highland Reel and Success Days, and they are both staying very wide, all shunning the inside running rail. They're about 5 or 6 deep, and they're towing the whole field wide. They're moved well off the rail. Maverick Wave in third place ahead of Cracksman, then Cliffs of Moher. It's just about raining down there in Swinley Bottom, not so in the grandstands. Recoletos racing in about 7th place at this stage on the outside of Barney Roy, ridden more patiently. You can spot that chestnut face, and they're all just edging off the rails with the exception of Success Days as they make their way up from Swinley Bottom. So Success Days leads Highland Reel and Maverick Wave. They are the front trio, and they show about 3 lengths clear from Cracksman. And Highland Reel's going the Willie Carson route. Ryan Moore's going to gamble, go right under the trees on the far side of the racecourse, made famous by that ride of Willie Carson's many years ago on Bari. Cracksman racing in 4th place. In 5th, just behind these, is Poet's Word with Cliffs of Moher, Recoletos. Then behind these, Bramito, who's racing on the inside of Barney Roy. And last of all is Desert Encounter. So Success Days racing on the outside. That's Desert Encounter's jockey cam, getting a view of the backside of Barney Roy's rider. Highland Reel right on the outside fence. Success Days and Maverick Wave, and the 3 of them are wide across the course. Cracksman getting a nice trail in, has been able to lie up to this point. Cliffs of Moher in the dark blue colours on the inside of Poet's Word. Bramito has got to run up the inside running rail and is closed. Then Recoletos and Barney Roy and Desert Encounter. Highland Reel slotted in just behind the leaders, and on straightening, Cracksman seizes the initiative. So Cracksman is the first one to really head for home. Poet's Word trying to trail him into the race. Cliffs of Moher, Success Days, Bramito is beginning to try and stay on, floundering a bit over to the far side. Barney Roy with work to do. It's Cracksman who leads out in front, leading from Poet's Word. From the back, Recoletos has moved through into 2nd place, but Cracksman leads by 3 or 4. Recoletos, Desert Sensation, Highland Reel, and behind these Poet's Word, but Cracksman is storming away here. It's going to be a Champion Stakes at last for Frankie Dettori, and in style. Cracksman won the Champion Stakes, whets the appetite for next year. Poet's Word and Highland Reel, who stuck to his task really well.
Really? Is he going to go this far from home? But he just continued to open up.
They appeared to go a decent pace early doors, didn't they? And then he's such a genuine horse, which does remind you of his sire, Frankel, doesn't he? Because he would have run through a brick wall for you. And often when they hit the front that far away from home, having gone a decent clip into that headwind on soft ground, you'd think they start feeling the pinch, but he's must be a superior.
I would think the plan with Frankie was to turn off the bend and send him, because he thought he was probably going to stay better than Barney Roy, or better than Cliffs of Moher, or maybe Bramito as well. Obviously he ran the arc, but you know, he thought he was probably the best there in the race, and he thought the only way he'd get beat.
To the roar of the crowd, racing. Perfect start, although Blonde Me got squeezed out shortly after. Neo-Realism jumped well, as did Time Warp, and Deauville's punching through. Garlingari wider out. along with Smart Layer as they head out of the stretch from Robin of Navan, who's quite handy to the pace. Then War Decree, Werther's going to settle third and fourth last nearer the rail. From Blonde Me and Poet's Word back to third last. He's caught a touch deep at the moment. Stefanos kicking through nearer the inside, and Secret Weapon is going to drop to last. Time Warp heading towards the 1400 metres. Finds the lead. He's running along at his own leisure. 2 lengths on Smart Layer second. On the outside of Neo Realism, he won't settle. Garlingari's got into a lovely spot. 1 out, 1 back on the outside of Deauville. 2 back to Robin of Navan on the outside of Werther. A length away, War Decree. 3/4 then to Stefanos. Poet's Word is caught 3 deep on the outside of Blonde Me, and Secret Weapon is at the tail end of the field, 8 lengths from the leader. They're at the halfway point, and Time Warp bowling along. Leads by 2 lengths. Smart Layer second on the outside of Neo Realism. 2 back, Garlingari's had a lovely run. Likewise, Deauville the rail. Then a length to Robin of Navan as they quicken up down the side. Werther's punching through nearer the inside. 6 off the lead. War Decree, Stefanos. Poet's Word, third last from Secret Weapon. And Blonde Me has it all to do. 600 metres out in the cup. And Time Warp's been left alone. Smart Layer within a half now. Neo Realism awaits the run. Garlingari goes, as does Robin of Navan. Werther gets to the outside. Time Warp. Purton asks him for something now. He sprints sharply. Neo Realism going into second. Werther a wider out. Then Robin of Navan and Smart Layer from the back, Stefanos. But Time Warp kept ticking. 2 clear from Werther. Then Neo Realism. Time Warp fuller running in the cup. Werther won't get him. And Time Warp, what a brilliant front running exhibition, wins the cup from Werther and Neo Realism. Stefanos was fourth, and then Smart Layer, Poet's Word, Secret Weapon, Robin of Navan, War Decree and Garlingari. Deauville looked to have every chance. Blonde Me's at the tail. Time Warp from Werther and Neo Realism. Zach Purton, the only international that had eluded him until today. Unstoppable, Time Warp. Tony Cruz has had a marvellous day. Werther clearly best of the rest over Neo Realism and Stefanos. Japan a third and fourth, but it's 3 wins for Hong Kong.
Interesting to see how she goes here. Here's Craig Evans.
All set to go now. This is the Longines Dubai Sheema Classic. Set for a start. No, out the back there is the rider of Hawkbill, William Buick, and Saturno Crown is playing up for Joe Moreira. So Hawkbill's been taken out. No, Saturno Crown is the one that's been taken out, and Hawkbill is getting very stirred up. So we could have a problem here. Stand by. Hawkbill may well have been caught up in the barriers here, so stand by. We'll wait a word. But both horses are out the back, Saturno Crown and also Hawkbill. So Saturno Crown and Hawkbill have both been remounted. Saturno Crown's going to go in. It looks like that Hawkbill is undergoing a vet's exam. Rider William Buick is in the saddle, but he's just giving it a trot up here, and the veterinary official is taking a look at Hawkbill. He's good to go, Hawkbill. Hawkbill has been passed fit to run by the vet. So we're almost set. Hawkbill coming back into position 7. And now we're right to run. They're set. Gates are back and they're racing. Khalidi was just a little bit slow to move. Idaho began nicely. Hawkbill shows good speed out wide and driving up there too. Cloth of Stars. Just off them as they settle down, Poet's Word. Idaho's going to surrender the front. It'll slot back into third position. Mozu Kachan over on the inside of Ray Dioro. Up on the outside, the red cap as they leave the straight is Best Solution. They were followed by Saturno Crown. Khalidi's back second to last, and last of all is Desert Encounter. The race towards the back straight, 27.45 was the lead sectional as they go up the side. By the final 1,800 metres they go, and Hawkbill shows the way for William Buick. Out by a length, on his back in second, Cloth of Stars. Up on the outside, third, Poet's Word facing the breeze. Over on the fence next of all is Idaho. It's joined by Best Solution with the red cap, then Ray Oro racing in the clear. Mozu Kachan over on the inside of Saturno Crown. They were followed by Khalidi, and back at the tail is Desert Encounter. Down the back they go. They're not going particularly quick, and Hawkbill is the leader, getting keen and maybe a little tight. There was Cloth of Stars on its tail. They were followed next of all by Poet's Word as they work their way down the back. Over on the inside is Idaho being covered by Best Solution, the red cap. Slipping around the outside, Khalidi goes a little closer from Ray Dioro. Then Mozu Kachan over on the inside of Saturno Crown, and back at the tail is Desert Encounter. About to come off the back straight they come now, with 1,000 metres left to go, and Hawkbill shows the way, has dictated the race from the outset. Poet's Word in second position. They were followed by Cloth of Stars. Next of all then is Khalidi. Between horses, Best Solution. 2 lengths away to Ray Dioro, just being stoked into the race now. Next of all is Idaho, who's struggling around it. Saturno Crown running on. Then Mozu Kachan, and back at the tail is Desert Encounter. 550 metres to go as they turn in. Hawkbill is still the leader. After a Poet's Word up on the outside, trying hard, followed by Cloth of Stars. Then came out in the middle, Best Solution. They were followed by Khalidi. Saturno Crown letting down with a nice run. Between horses, Ray Dioro, they go to the final 250. Hawkbill kept going in the front, shows the way now. Cloth of Stars getting into the clear. Out wider is Poet's Word, but it's Hawkbill well clear. Hawkbill's out by 3, trying to get their Poet's Word, but Hawkbill leads throughout. Takes the Sheema Classic in great fashion. It's Hawkbill by 3 lengths. Second, Poet's Word. Ahead away third is Cloth of Stars. They were followed by Best Solution. Next.
Charlie Appleby.
Desert Encounter and Air Pilot just dwells slightly. Laraib and on the outside, Poet's Word are the front two through the first furlong. Settle back in third is Fabricate, then Air Pilot, and Desert Encounter, who's usually held up, is last of the 5 as they make their way down the back straight. And Laraib and Jim Crowley by about a half length to the odds-on favourite Poet's Word, and Ryan Moore in second. 3 lengths away, Fabricate in the royal colours worn by James Doyle. Then Air Pilot and Harry Bentley on the outside, and still at the back is Desert Encounter and Jamie Spencer, the horse in the hood, the horse who ran so well here in the Eclipse Stakes last season. On down the back straight in this race, which is named after one of the greats of the British turf, Brigadier Gerard, who won 17 of his 18 races. It's Laraib that leads the way, to Poet's Word in second. In third is Fabricate on the inside then of Air Pilot, and at the back Desert Encounter. Once again they're spurning the inside running rail as they now prepare to exit the back straight. Laraib by a length and a tail to Poet's Word, and then a couple of lengths to Fabricate, Air Pilot, Desert Encounter. The pace at this stage of the race looking fairly moderate as they now approach the home turn with about a half mile left to travel, uphill all the way. Laraib, Poet's Word, and then 2 lengths to Fabricate. The order pretty much unchanged all the way, Air Pilot and Desert Encounter. Down the centre of the straight course they come. Laraib just got a shake of the reins there. Poet's Word just nudged up now into the bridle by Ryan Moore to join the long-time leader. Fabricate in behind them. Desert Encounter is making ground just in behind them, still seeking cover though in the hands of Jamie Spencer and Air Pilot. Now they're really beginning to quicken up, and Poet's Word strikes on from Laraib. Desert Encounter, Fabricate, and then Air Pilot on the outside. The favourite leads the way, entering the final furlong. Poet's Word. Laraib is battling back on the far side, but Poet's Word looks to have his measure up the hill. Poet's Word goes a length ahead. It's soon going to be a length and a half, and Poet's Word is grinding it out well and will win the Brigadier Gerard Stakes in the hands of Ryan Moore. Laraib is second, third Desert Encounter, then Fabricate and Air Pilot.
A 10th Brigadier Gerard Stakes for trainer Sir Michael Stouts, and a 5th for Ryan Moore. Poet's Word wins the 4-6 favourites, and he does so pretty straightforwardly in the end. In second, Laraba's won an absolute stormer for Jim Crowley and Owen Burrows. They'll be well.
And they're off. Racing and very slow out of the stalls was Desert Encounter. Has surely thrown away any sort of chance there and lags behind by 6 or 7 lengths. Going forward is Salwen on the outside of Rostropovich as they make the run downhill towards Swinley Bottom. They've gone 2.5 lengths clear of Crystal Ocean in the dark blue with the yellow cap, then Hydrangea on the running rail. Back in the field is Coronet. Poet's Word is held up at the rear of the field, and Desert Encounter has now made the effort to catch up and latch on to the back of the field, but at a little bit of a cost, one suspects. Racing keenly downhill and about to swing right-handed as they approach the mile marker. And now Rostropovich goes on under Sheema Heffernan from Salwen in second, and it looks a true gallop. Crystal Ocean is back in third, 2 lengths away to Hydrangea on the inside of Coronet. Then Poet's Word lobbing along second last, and finally Desert Encounter. Passing the 7 now and beginning to race uphill out of Swinley Bottom, and Rostropovich and Salwen separated by about a half length, 2 lengths away or so to Crystal Ocean. Coronet on the outside of Hydrangea, the 2 fillies together, and then at the back are Poet's Word and finally Desert Encounter. They pass the 6 and they're about to pass the 5 in the King George, and Rostropovich still spearheads the field from Salwen in second place, Sheema Heffernan from Sylvester de Souza, Crystal Ocean and William Buick in third, then Hydrangea, Ryan Moore on the inside of Coronet and Olivier Pellier. Poet's Word, James Doyle second last, and finally Desert Encounter and Andrea Atzina. They're into the final turn, and it's still Rostropovich, Salwen. Crystal Ocean though is drawing closer in third place, travelling well. In behind these is Coronet in fourth. Poet's Word now is urged to improve and making headway from Hydrangea, and then at the back Desert Encounter, Rostropovich, Salwen. Crystal Ocean lays down a big challenge and now hits the front very quickly indeed, and Crystal Ocean begins to open up, chased now by stable companion Poet's Word, but Crystal Ocean is going to take some pegging back. They head to the final furlong. Poet's Word is getting on terms. Crystal Ocean on the far side, Poet's Word on the near side. They're practically together now. They fight tooth and nail up to the line, and Poet's Word is edging ahead and won it. Poet's Word won the King George from Crystal Ocean. A magnificent battle between the stable companions. A 6th King George for Sir Michael Stout. Back in third, Coronet, then Rostropovich, Salwen, Desert Encounter and Hydrangea.
First, number 4, Poet's Word. Second, number 2. Third, number 6. And the 4th placed horse,
Hiles.
10 furlongs, a mile and a quarter for the Prince of Wales' Stakes. Cracksman, no banging his head on the stalls this time, but Frankie's animated early on just to get him to engage A gear, as out in front Eminent leads. In second place is Hawkbill. Pace is not that strong. Royal Julius in third. Cracksman's got a reasonable spot in fourth place and is racing alertly. Poet's Word is in fifth. Cliffs of Moher a couple of lengths further back, and at the rear is Desert Encounter. So Eminent out in front, just fighting the riders slightly. Royal Julius in third, Hawkbill in fourth. Again, Frankie just a little lower in the saddle. He's determined not to let Cracksman go to sleep this afternoon, keeping him in touch with the front three. A couple of lengths to Poet's Word, and this gap of 4 to 5 lengths to Cliffs of Moher. You see Frankie, he's not sitting still in the saddle, whereas out in front, Eminent's riders waits all back, just trying to restrain this keen running horse out in front. So Eminent it is who leads from Royal Julius, third for Hawkbill. Cracksman races in fourth place, a length and a half back in fifth then to Poet's Word, and these 5 remain clear of the other pair, who if anything are slightly further behind, Cliffs of Moher and Desert Encounter, so making their way up past halfway, and out in front Eminent leads by a length. In second place Royal Julius, a third for Hawkbill is having to be ridden along. Cracksman in fourth place. Back in fifth then is Poet's Word. Cliffs of Moher and Desert Encounter are edging closer at the back of the field. Eminent leads the turn in. Again, Frankie just stokes the coals slightly as Eminent leads by half a length. Royal Julius in second, Hawkbill in third. Cracksman will pull to the outside to begin a challenge. Little wide on the bend, still being stalked by Poet's Word, then Cliffs of Moher. Eminent Hawkbill. Cracksman now set alight down the outside. His challenger is Poet's Word, and Cracksman has got to the front. Poet's Word, however, is a real threat. Cracksman is going to have to concentrate on the job in hand because Poet's Word has not read the script and has moved past Cracksman with a furlong to go in the Prince of Wales's. Poet's Word trying to extract revenge on Cracksman and is moving further away. Poet's Word ridden out towards the line by James Doyle. It's going to be the record breaker for Sir Michael Stout in the Prince of Wales's and lower the colours of Cracksman. Hawkbill in third place, in fourth is Cliffs of Moher, Eminent, then Royal Julius and Desert Encounter. Poet's Word at 11-2 has won the race, but has given Sir Michael Stout a record-breaking 76th Royal Ascot success. He came past Cracksman.
Make up the line for this vintage renewal of the Juddmonte International. They're set and they're off and racing. This 47th running then of the Juddmonte International. Saxon Warrior content to sit towards the back of the field. Thundering Blue has been dropped out, but it's Thunder Snow, the Dubai World Cup winner, in the hands of Christophe Soumillon, who leads the field along. Ben Battle racing together with Latrobe, and the meat in the sandwich there, Poet's Word, right up there as well, the favourite, followed by Roaring Lion, the grey, in the maroon colours of Qatar Racing, and Without Parole flanking him, the St James's Palace Stakes winner. Saxon Warrior and Thundering Blue at the back of the field, and a pretty reasonable pace being set as well as they go towards the 7 furlong marker on the far side. About 7 lengths between first and last. Thunder Snow from Latrobe in second, only about a neck between them. Racing in third, then the white cap of Ben Battle, Poet's Word and James Doyle, the favourite, in fourth. Roaring Lion is next, followed by Without Parole's white sleeves and cap, and then comes on the inside then Saxon Warrior, and still at the back of the field the grey Thundering Blue. They're racing down the side of the Naesmire now, passing the 5 furlong marker in the Juddmonte International of 2018, and now they're about to turn towards the home straight. Thunder Snow leads them down towards the final half mile then. From Latrobe is just nudged along in second place. Third on the inside, Ben Battle. Just up the inside there, just short of room there briefly, Poet's Word. He's just having to be pushed along now by James Doyle. Frankie's taking his ground on Without Parole, so some tactical manoeuvres going on as the field begins to pack up. Saxon Warrior tracking Roaring Lion on the outside as they try to stage a bit of a rally, and they at last place is Thundering Blue. They're passing the 2 furlong marker, and Ben Battle strikes the front. Roaring Lion is coming after him. Poet's Word is under strong pressure, is trying to pick up with Saxon Warrior down the centre. It's Roaring Lion though, who's quickened up best, entering the final furlong and leads the Juddmonte International field. Roaring Lion is drawing clear by about 3 lengths. Poet's Word in the clear, but he's not going to get to Roaring Lion, and the Lion really roars today and wins the Juddmonte International for Qatar Racing. John Gosden and Oisin Murphy. Poet's Word in second, followed by Saxon Warrior, and Thundering Blue ran well.
Super impressive, the 3-year-old Roaring Lion to take the Juddmonte International for John Gosden and Oisin Murphy in the silks of Qatar Racing. The Eclipse winner follows up, and he beats older horses, and not just any older horse, but Poet's Word, who'd established himself as a 5-year-old of the highest calibre with 2 wins at Ascot. The path to victory was far, far from difficult for Roaring Lion. The path to defeat far more so for Poet's Word. All that said, the margin was significant, and this was very impressive indeed. Thundering Blue has run a mighty race to fill out the trifecta here, and that is a huge feather in the cap of David Menuisier and Fran Berry, but this winner is right up there among the better winners of this race in recent years.
Yeah, it's an excellent display from him. He was obviously aided by the trouble at